Make your training fun. It should never be I have to. It is I get to. I get to run. I get to bike. I get to swim. I get to live this incredible miracle of life. You get to do these things. It's a gift. It's a joy. It's a pleasure. Don't ever, ever forget that. Welcome to the Bek Siri Show.
And here at Team Siri's Tri Club, it's not just about swim, bike, run. It's about who you become. On our show, we don't just talk to you about swimming, cycling, and running.
We talk about mindset. We talk about fearless authenticity and being your very best self.
Hi there, Cam here from Team Cirrus. This week on the show, Bek and Siri talk about key triathlon terms and tips and answer member questions. And don't forget, if you want to join these chats live, you can do so by joining the club. We've got a 1 month free offer going at the moment, so the link's in the show notes on how to get that offer. But in the meantime, enjoy the show.
Hi everybody, welcome to the live chat, Team Siri's Tri Club. It's me here, Siri Lindley. My wife, Rebecca, is on her way. I hope you all had an amazing weekend. I hope you're doing some fun adventure type things, keeping you going during this tough time. Thinking about all of you. I know this has been a crazy time for all of us, and it's so very important to try and find the gift in what's happening. Of course, it's terrible what's happening, and people are sick and people are dying, and that is just so awful. But for us to manage, for us to cope during this time, it's so incredibly important to focus on the fact that you have more time, to focus on your relationships, to focus on your self-care, to focus on your home or your business. You have more time available right now. So hopefully you're using that to the fullest and trying to appreciate more time with your family, more time with your pets, more time at home. Because to focus on all the bad and all the sadness and how frustrating it is, that's not going to help you get through this, and that isn't going to help you be efficient and effective and productive during this time. But if we focus on this as, okay, we get more time now to focus on all those things that we don't typically have time to focus on. And that's how I've worked it out in my head. Hi, Mel Mitchell. We have our head coach from Australia. Melanie Mitchell is on. It must be so early there, Mel, so thank you for getting up and being a part of this. Susie, great to see you. Thank you for being on the live chat today. I don't have any questions in front of me, you guys. I'm hoping Bek's going to be able to read those out. Here she is. She was out giving medicine to the horses. Mel's on, Susie's on. Thanks for being here, guys.
A few announcements. You guys probably saw we're doing an event here. Everybody's just about finished the 10K run plan, which will be available for every athlete. We're going to do a little fun run this weekend, but we've had a 5K run plan going and a 10K run plan going. So yep. It's really exciting. But I'm also going to do a back to the basics for beginner guys that have never done a 5K, because I feel like some of our programs are a little too advanced even for, people that are just first starting. So
yes, so those of you that have never done anything before.
Hey, Erin.
Those of you that have never run. Erin's on. Hi, Erin.
Hi,
Erin Dom. Person. Great to have you on, you guys. Erin, thank you for your incredible talk a few weeks ago with our team. We're so grateful for you. You just gave us so much value, and we're so grateful. So thank you.
You're
Susie,
amazing.
I think Susie has a question. Yes.
Okay, I'll read it for you, babe. So she's asking, I think she started like a training plan. She's asking if she can change the start date for her training plan in the app. Yes, you absolutely can. You can do that in Training Peaks, and you can do that in Training Tilt. So just email me, teamsiristriclub@gmail.com, and we'll help you with that for sure. You can do either, whether you have it in the Training Tilt app or the Training Peaks app. You can definitely delete it and start again. So no worries about that.
Excellent. Yeah, thank you for that question, Susie. I'm interested to know, which plan are you on? And
she's on beginner sprint. Or she might be on beginner start of season. Actually, good question.
Yeah, so let us know what plan you're on, Susie. And absolutely, that should be no problem. Hi, Dan. Nice to see you, Dan. How's everybody faring during this time? Are you taking advantage of the extra time that you have? Are you focusing on all those things that we typically say, I don't have time to work on my relationship. I don't have time to work on my business. I don't have time to work on tidying up my house. Like, are you taking advantage of this extra time to work on those things that will make your life even that much better when all of this is done? Let us know. So Susie, you are on the beginner's something plan. Okay, good. That's perfect. If you have any questions, even if they feel like silly questions, I know a couple weeks ago we were on here and I was answering some really basic questions. Like, you have to remember, when I started, I didn't know how to swim. I really didn't know how to ride a bike, and I had no idea how to run except for chasing after a ball and sprinting up and down a field. So I knew nothing about bike cleats and how to get on your bike and how to mount and dismount. I knew nothing about swimming. I didn't know how to breathe in the pool, like all these things. So if any of you watching this are true beginners, like I was, please ask any and every question you have. There is no question that's silly. I was where you were, and I so appreciate the journey and everything that you have to learn along the way.
Why don't we go through some terms that we use on the plans? Because people do get a little confused with some of the terminology. So while we're waiting for questions, we can go through that. We may have some more on the page. But if I throw the terms at you, how about you explain them?
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, so what about quick feet, little feet?
Okay, quick feet, little feet has to do with your run cadence. As you all know, I mean, I got to be a very fast runner by working on my technique, my form, and my cadence. And I believe that 100 cadence is absolute perfect cadence, no matter how tall you are or how small you are. 100 cadence, if you look at the best runners, whether it be in marathon or 10K or triathlon, count their cadence. I guarantee you'll find 100 right foot strikes or very close to that per minute. So quick feet, quick feet, little feet,
She yells
quick
this
feet,
out
little
to
feet.
Rennie in Kona every year.
For like 5 minutes straight.
When he's going up the hill, quick feet, little feet, quick feet, little feet. She did it to me at a race, and I gave her the bird.
Well, and then remember when you said
it
to
did
Rennie,
help.
you said to Rennie
I
one
said,
day,
"Oh God, that must have been."
doesn't that
so
bother you so much?
She
He's
goes,
like, no, I
love
liked it. Yeah. So, because it's a reminder. So how do you get that quick feet, little feet? Well, the first thing, what your arms do, your feet will follow. So if you need to up your cadence, pump the arms quicker, your feet will follow. That's the best way to up your cadence immediately.
Okay, so talking about cadence, what is cadence and RPM when in regards to the bike, and what is your theory on cadence and RPM? But what does cadence and RPM mean? For those that see cadence or RPM when they're seeing a bike session, what does that mean?
So RPMs are revolutions per minute. So when you're on a bike, that's how many times you are turning the pedals in 1 minute, basically. So I have found through my 18 years of coaching that the most powerful cadence is somewhere between, for most people, and I've dropped this a little bit over time, 78 to 84. Mm-hmm. So you'll watch like the Tour de France and they're all spinning at 100, 110. That's because they don't have to run off the bike. Mm-hmm. Okay, so for them it's a lot more efficient. For us as triathletes, if you're spinning...
And wait, can I add, their body type is so little tiny, they're very lean, skinny little machines, so they can afford to have a little higher cadence, because cardiovascularly, they're in a different world to what we are. So.
True. Okay, so say you rode an
And they're
Ironman,
drafting.
And they're drafting. And yeah, all those other
And whatever
things.
else they're doing.
Yeah. So if you're on a bike and you're in a triathlon and your cadence is 100, okay? And keep in mind that my preferred cadence on the run is 100 cadence. But if you've gone 180K holding 100 cadence, not only is your heart rate going to be higher, so you're expending more energy cardiovascularly, but when you get off, it's going to be so hard to try and get that 100 cadence and hold that for another 3 hours. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's just too much wearing out those same muscle fibers. So as triathletes, especially the way we coach you to be super strong on the bike, where you can push a bigger gear and ride at a lower cadence. Your heart rate will be lower. You'll be using more strength, but we've built up that strength with the work that we're doing.
Work, exactly.
Right. So your heart rate will be lower. You're using your strength, and then when it's time to get off and run, oh my God, your body celebrates going into 100 cadence because it feels so good to get out of that other rhythm that you've been holding for 5+ hours to go into this new rhythm. So for me, what I discovered as an athlete and as a coach is that people that struggle to feel good on the run off the bike, it probably has almost everything to do with the cadence you're holding on the bike and the cadence that you're running at. So for us, your cadence, which is your RPMs on the bike, I used to grind my gears. Even I was a World Cup racer, but I still grinded my gears. But I always ran really good off the bike. And so my cadence was probably around 76, to be honest. But I recommend between 78 and 84 as ideal cadence. So it's something that if that's way off for you and you're either a lot lower or a lot higher, experiment with it. Start throwing it into your rides and get used to what that feels like.
And someone like Rinny is 84, Ellie's what, 84 or 82?
Ellie's a little higher. Ellie's about
she's tiny
84.
though.
Sometimes
86.
she hits 86 and I bring her back down.
And then you got Sebastian Kinley. I did a survey on the top male riders in Kona, and some of them can get away with going a little higher. Someone like Crowe, who is just really compact, tiny, lean. His was like 86, 88, but most of the guys were below 86, so around 84 for the top riders that I reached out to. That's like your Sebastian Kinley, your Jan Frodeno, Daniela is probably around 80, 84. Chrissy Wellington rode at 78 to 80, so there's proof in the pudding.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's great. Had some of my best runs after Maddie and MC bike sessions. Awesome, Patrice. Yeah, that's definitely where you can feel that progress.
All right, Siri. So Dominic is one of my favorite people. He's almost our Team Series Tri Club ambassador, and he lives in Hilpolstein in Germany. And Hilpolstein is where the swim starts. I don't know how you really pronounce it, but I'm guessing it's like that. Dom, let me know if I'm wrong. But Hilpolstein is where we used to stay at Pension zu Krone, and I don't know if I'm saying that right either, but it is such a beautiful little town in Germany. It's where Challenge Roth is. So Dom is from there. We love him. If you ever go to Challenge Roth, reach out to him or to myself, because this guy is the best host homestay you could ever find. And you always do well when you stay with him. And this guy's a little bit of a freak. He barely trains, and I know for his first one, he went on 11 hours. Actually, I think he did 12, and then he got down to 11. I think he's just broken 11, correct me if I'm wrong. And this guy only trains maybe 5 to 6 hours a week. He's amazing talent. But his question, Siri, my next big race will be Challenge Roth 2021. My training plan for this race will start in January. So basically, he's having off till January. That's just what he does, because he works very hard. He has 2 kids. Do you have a plan for preparing to start 100% in January? When should serious planning train? So you should be training now. Basically he's asking what he should be doing now, what plan we could start in January, because I believe Roth's in July, so the 23-week plan will work well. And another question, if your pools are closed for coronavirus, what can I do instead of swimming when the plan says swimming in January? Great question, Dom.
Amazing questions, Dom. First of
he
all,
went 10:43, by the way. Boom!
Wow.
And that was on a Team Series plan.
That's amazing. So, Dom, the first thing that I think is going to be so important for every single athlete is to have your typical off season. So for us, for my athletes, that means they're going to have 2 weeks completely off, doing nothing at all. 2 weeks of doing one thing a day, but it's more like a hike or a walk or something fun, yoga. So basically a month off, and then a month of only 5 days a week of training. So that's 2 months, which
and he could
how
start
many
that
weeks?
now.
I'd like to know how many weeks from January to Roth.
It's about 23.
Okay, awesome.
Yep.
So I would in November kind of have your 2 weeks off, your 2 weeks of one thing a day. Don't worry, you're not going to lose all your fitness, I promise you. And then in December, you train 5 days a week. You have 2 days off entirely every week. And then by January, you're going to be ready to start full force. That's how I would do it. But I think that it's going to be a mistake for people that think that because they didn't have a race season this year, that they don't need to have an off season. That is just not the case. If anything, they're going to need an off season more than ever, because maybe this coronavirus pandemic has not taken a physical toll on us, but it has taken a mental and an emotional toll, plus a physical toll, because you're still training without having, a race to train for. So physically, emotionally, mentally, it will have taken a toll on you, and you really should give your body that appropriate rest so that you can be firing on all cylinders come next season.
Okay, and he's asking alternatives for swimming. So of course
Swim
we
cords.
can totally do that. So we already had some virtual swim workouts which you could go back and look at. So we have some cord workouts you can totally do. You don't obviously have a pool, but I know MC bought a pool for like $300 or $400 and converted her backyard and has a pool in there. But I would do swim cords for sure, just to get that feel. A Vasa trainer or a Halo trainer, and do the swims as a cord session. And if you I can actually post that again. I'll post that for you guys. I'm really sorry that the pools aren't open. That's crazy, but I think that's maybe more to do with the season. It's seasonal there, not just to do with Corona. But I would get as much swimming as you can in right now if it's open, and then even get a tether. If you have a friend with a backyard pool, get the tether, the swim tether, attach it to the pool and just swim. It's better than doing nothing, just to keep that feel. But the only thing you're really going to lose is the feel, because you're still going to be conditioned aerobically and you're going to be conditioned strength-wise, neuromuscularly wise from your riding and running. So I wouldn't be too worried, because everybody's in the same boat.
That's
so
right.
I hope that helped.
Yeah.
Hope that helped, Dom, and we really miss you over here. We can't wait to get back to Challenge Road one year. Mel Mitchell, Siri, how do you know when you're at the optimal RPM, when it gives you the strongest run off the bike?
That is such a great question, Mel. There's going to be a little bit of kind of trial and error with that. But I would say...
Because Siri does pick different cadences for different athletes.
Yes.
Like, give her a couple of examples, because...
So, I mean, Rinny always rode at 82 RPMs and ran amazing off the bike. I used to ride at like 76 and ran great off the bike. Leanda was at like 84. Ellie is actually at like 86. So it kind of depends on the athlete, but the way that we figured this out is we would look at previous performances. And of course you're going to be doing brick sessions in training. So as the coach, I would say, okay, Beck, today you're doing a 40K time trial and I want your cadence to stay at exactly 82 the whole entire time. And we're going to do a run off the bike. And then it's her responsibility to be watching her cadence meter and keeping it exactly at 82. And the best thing about focusing on cadence actually is people that don't know how to time trial, like beginners. I didn't know what a time trial was. I didn't know how to do that. But when you look at holding a specific cadence, and say you're on a rolling hills course, and all you want to do is keep your cadence and keep the effort and the cadence at, say, 82, you're going to know exactly how to gear to be your most efficient and consistent through that time trial. So it teaches you how to gear, teaches you how to be consistent, and it's just paying attention that all that matters is that cadence. So if Beck goes off and does the 40K time trial at 82 cadence and runs off the bike and feels amazing, great. But then I may even say, okay, well, next time let's try 80. Maybe it'll feel even better. And you have to, when you're doing these experiments, have the same lead in each time
and
you
the
do
same
it.
conditions, which is why I would recommend doing it. Siri may not, but I would recommend doing
On your
it
trainer.
on your trainer,
Yeah.
because, and this would be the only time I would really recommend to look at heart rate. Don't look at it, have it on and have your power meter on, but do not ever look at it. And then you can go back and look, because you may be sitting at like a 160 heart rate at sort of 88 cadence, and then you do it at 84 and you're at 150 with the same power. So you got to play around with that a bit, and that would be a time when I would say, Mel, you could look at their numbers afterwards. You don't want it to be something they're focusing on. The only thing they focus on is the cadence.
That's right. And I would say start lower, because
Mel had them at 72 originally. So
awesome,
I think
Mel.
that's
I'm
amazing.
totally with you on that.
Better than 90.
Totally with you on that. And the thing is that the lower the cadence, the lower your heart rate's going to be. Yes, you're using more strength, but like my legs would be trashed after the 40K in a race, but I would run amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't matter that they felt trashed. They were ready to, activate at 100 cadence. So, and actually, I want to take back, because I said do a 40K time trial. No, you can do 10 minutes.
20 minute.
10-minute time trial, and then run off and see how
compare
that
it.
feels.
Yeah.
And then, the next time, do the same exact thing, a 10-minute time trial at a different cadence and run off of that. But you're going to find it out. And also, athletes can discover that in races too. A lot of athletes won't just be racing their A races, they'll do some training races along the way. And that's the
Experiment.
perfect opportunity to say, okay, let's kind of overgear for you a little bit in this race. Let's keep it at, 78 to 80, and let's see how you feel on the run. And they may discover that it didn't feel as good as they usually do, or they may discover most likely, wow, that felt amazing.
Can I add something to this? And I don't know if you agree with it. I kind of do in general, in a generalization, which is something Brett was big for a big gear. If he said he would usually look at the physique of someone. So my sister's partner, Brendan, is like 200 pounds, all muscle, and he's a big guy. And I see him spinning at 100 RPM in a race, and I'm like, whoa. You have legs like a freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger. You should be someone who'd be even below 78. Like he might sit at 70, but because he hadn't conditioned himself to the bigger gear, he was spinning at 90 because he sees the Tour de France. He thinks we're all like Tour de France riders. So once we got his cadence down, completely changed his game, and he ran way better off the bike because he wasn't completely exhausted on the bike. So I do feel like generally the more muscular, bigger guys can do a much bigger gear, and there's a leaner, smaller, tinier, although Rinny's a little bit of an anomaly because that's quite low for her. Well,
but she's pretty muscular.
She's muscular. And then you look at Ellie, who's pretty lean and skinny, and someone like Crowe, who's, you could say an anomaly because he's maybe at 88, 90. I remember one year at Kona when he won, he said it was like almost 90 cadence. But Crowe is so aerobically fit, he can kind of get away with that, and he's probably really conditioned to train at that. But in general, if they're bigger muscle mass and they're big muscle and their legs, like, you know, my quads or someone's quads.
Use your strength.
Yeah, use that and train yourself and condition yourself for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it may take over time. You may be racing one year at 84 cadence, but the next year you're that much stronger, you can do 82. And then the next year you can do 80. So it's something you build up for sure.
And that's more to help Mel too, because I know Mel hasn't worked a lot with cadence in the past, but I love that she started them much lower than higher. Because they're already conditioned in their legs. So I think that's fantastic. What does Dom say? Dom says, planning on being there this year. Will get pushed to the future if the door is open. Washington, D.C. Oh, that's Dan. Okay, sorry. That was not a question. Challenge Daytona in December. I know our guys are so hopeful for a race, guys, but don't hold your breath because I really don't see it happening. Okay, here we have a question from Susie. And Susie, I love your questions because, again, we've got to go back to this beginner mindset sometimes, because sometimes people just don't know. They don't know because it's their first ever time doing a triathlon. So she says she's having a hard time breathing in the water. I've been distracting myself by continuing to do laps, just keep moving with running with the pull belt and backstroke, breaststroke, side kicking, etc. She did 1.75 laps of freestyle without stopping for the first time last week.
Great, well done. Awesome.
I need some serious tips. Okay, now this is where we would get someone like my athlete, Karen, on, because Karen has gone from swimming 25 meters to like 41,000. So you guys maybe need to connect you and Karen Goebel. But yeah, because it honestly is about aerobic conditioning as well. Like if you're coming from no fitness level, it's more about that too. But I need tips on gasping for air like crazy. Should I order that Champions online training? Oh yes, I would absolutely invest in the $37, I think it's $47, it's not even a big investment, into Brent Hayden's swim course for sure, because he does do a lot on the beginner and the breathing stuff and how to rotate and get the breathing in the air and everything like that. So, and flotation as well. And Susie, able to do 18 laps in 50 minutes. Okay, let's give her a couple of tips with the breathing again.
Well, first of all, Susie, celebrate where you are now, because you know, in a year from now, like Mary Carmen, like Karen, you are going to be just blowing yourself away with how well you're swimming, how much you're swimming. So it's something to look forward to. And I look back when I had no idea how to swim. I couldn't put my head under the water. And it makes me so proud of how far I came. So celebrate where you are right now. With the breathing, a lot of it is just getting comfortable in the water and breathing outside the water to calm yourself, to prepare yourself for having your head under the water. And remember, we are exhaling under the water and inhaling when you turn to the side. But the anxiety and the fear can often lead to you gasping for air. So let's just stay calm. Like, you can breathe anytime you want. Okay, it's not like someone's holding your head under the water. Like, you can breathe anytime you want. So just relax, stay calm, take it slowly, exhale under the water, breathe to the side. I really believe that if you calm your nerves and be fearless, you're going to have so much of an easier time. But I also think that doing the Champions online training would be amazing too.
It's actually called Swimming Secrets Mastery. Swimming Secrets. I just put the link up there for you to click on it and do it through our link, our Team Series. We have a special deal for our club. It's like, I think it's 47 or something. But anyway, if we were here and we could have a camp, we would just tell you to come here and we'd look at your swim, and that's going to happen hopefully. I know MT's planning that this year sometime, so I will be with my mask and standing social distancing if we can do it. I don't know if the pool will allow us, but we'll see. But hopefully we can do that too. But send us a video. I'll post the video, on the wall. Don't be scared. Just post the video on the wall. We can critique it and have a little look. I think the biggest thing is another thing to add to Siri would be getting a rhythm. And maybe you're doing, I don't know, maybe you're trying to do 10 strokes and breathe, and then 5 strokes and breathe, and 3 strokes and breathe. Try and go like 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4. I used to go 4, 2, and then it was altitude. I'd go 3, 3, 3.
Explain what that
Okay,
means.
so 1, 2 would be 1, breathe, 1, breathe. Okay, that's breathing every second. Every second arm, because you do right, left, breathe, right, left, breathe. Every 3 would be right, left, breathe, left, right, breathe. So to be breathing every 3 strokes. Breathing every 4 strokes would be 1, 2, 3, 4, breathe, 1, 2, 3, 4, breathe. So when it's even numbers, 1, 3, 5, odd numbers 1, 3, 5, you're breathing to opposite sides. And if you're doing 2, 4, 6 strokes in a breath, you're breathing to the same side. That's the only thing. But you could even do like breathing up on one side and breathing to the other side on the way back or something like that. So you're using both sides, but I wouldn't even get too worried about that right now. Just try to get your breaths in without waiting too long to breathe. Like it's like breathing on dry land, but your face is down. It's so much easier to say than to do. But I would also try and get a Eni buoy or a really big flotation buoy to put between your legs, because that will just help a little bit to get you more confident in the water and more balanced on top of the water. So I would definitely try using the buoy. And you could even try tying your feet just to get that balance and get that positioning right with your body as well.
Yeah, awesome. I would love to get to Megan Newman, my athlete's question. Megan, I love you.
Did you
know
her
that.
back's still sore?
No, she hasn't told me that until right now. So your back, she's asking, is my back pain on the bike due to a weak core?
Probably unlikely. I would say it's more positioning. It could have a little bit to do with that, but I would say absolutely probably what was it? Definitely Maybe was the movie.
Yeah, Definitely Maybe.
Definitely, that's a good movie if you haven't seen it. More positioning, Megsy, and I remember when you were here on the camp, your seat.
No, Meg wasn't here at the
Oh,
camp.
that was the other Meg. Okay, that's good to know, because the other Meg, her seat was slightly tilted up. So there's so many things. So if you're a series athlete, send us a video.
Send me a video, Megan.
Send us a video. We'll look at it together, because you're a personal athlete. We can totally do that one-on-one. So send her a video. I'll assess it. We need the bike on its own, on a trainer with a front and back rule level, so that we can see the angles of the seat. We need you on the bike from the side, the front, and the back, because most likely it could even be a 2mm change. Some people get pain. Our other Meg's got pain because her seat was slightly tilted up, and it's just putting extra pressure on her L4 or L5 or SLJ or lower back and all of that, and it's just pulling on that fascia. And it's likely that it's probably a little bit positional. So the first thing I normally do with lower back pain is look at that, and then if we can't see anything obvious, it could be cleat position. I doubt it. Seat's either too high, most likely, than too low. Could be too far back. And where in your cockpit, it could be too low at the front end. So you might be a little too low in the front end, and just bringing it up even 10 mil. If you think about that, like 10 mil is only this much, right? Like it's 1 centimeter, but that much on your actual lower back is so much relief of pressure. So I would look at that, look at where your arm pads are positioned, and look at that as well. So we'd love to help.
Yeah,
you.
so please, Megan, send me that video as soon as you can, hopefully this week. So we can help you out with that. But let's speak about core strength. I mean, when your body gets under fatigue, like in a race, it's that core strength that's going to hold your technique together. It's also that core strength that is going to lead to you being able to transfer power from the front of your swim stroke to the back of your swim stroke. It is the core strength will allow you to transfer power from your upper body, holding onto the bars, into your legs, into the pedals. The core strength will hold together your technique on the run when you start getting tired. So core strength, you guys, is so crucially important. It will hold your technique together. And when you're holding your technique together, you're going to be performing your very best. So always keep that core work going. I remember I used to do it every single night with my training partner, Loretta Harrop, and I realized, I didn't need to be doing it every single night, but I did. But I would say 3 to 4 days a week, get that core work in. It's very important.
And Erin does do the fascial release stuff and the tissue stuff and the, what's it called, conditioning and like just getting your muscles nice and loose on a Monday. I know she does that for free on her Facebook group. I would recommend you guys doing that. I think it's something really good to do. Just movement, doing a movement to really release that SIJ area, all the hamstrings, quads, like all the fascial stuff. And she does do a session for free on a Monday. So I would actually recommend doing that after a tough weekend, because you're right, Becky, we're on our time trial bikes all the time now, and a lot of the time we're stuck inside our trainer because of COVID, some of us. So you're in that position, and don't need to be, because we really probably won't likely have any races coming up. You don't have to be in your TT bars all the time. Like, you can sit up, even some of the big gear work, mix it up a bit. I know we often say always be in your bars, but without races coming up, like, it's not as detrimental to be out of the bars as it is when you've got races coming up. So.
But I'm still a big believer. I'm sorry, this is just how I am.
I know, but they're on their trainer all day. But
No,
you
I
should
know.
feel good in your time trial position. You should.
You
feel
absolutely
good.
should.
It shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't feel worse than on your hoods.
No, but
You feel
there's
better.
always a good time to build up strength in that position if it's not going to, destroy you.
Yep. So thank you. And Becky, any advice you can give too, because I know, Beck, you're always on your stuff.
Yeah,
on your
you're
trainer for
amazing.
5 or 6 hours. Beck's actually one of our coaches, and she's always on here and so proactive. So,
So we have Rebecca Allen on, one of our coaches. Mel Mitchell is on, one of our coaches. We are so grateful for you guys. You are incredible.
And if she ever gives swim advice, listen to it, because she is an unbelievable swimmer. This girl at 16 was beating McKillie Jones, smashing her out of the water, beating Loretta Harrop, smashing my wife out of the water.
Smashing
Like, she
me.
had such a big lead sometimes that she'd be gone off the bike.
Yeah.
Like, no one could catch
Amazing.
her. So
Beautiful,
listen to Mel.
beautiful swimmer. Amazing
and ask
athlete.
her direct messages if you need your answers questions. You're embarrassed to write it on here or don't want to write it on the group. Just reach out to Mel. She'd be willing to
Yes.
help. She's an amazing
And
swimmer.
Rebecca as well, guys.
And Becky too, especially for bike, because Becky's like, she's an axe on the bike. So there you go.
Absolute acts, yes. So we are so blessed to have such incredible resources here, guys.
Dom's just asking, let's do last question, Siri. He says he has stomach pain or sore muscles in the stomach after hard swimming, even with and without neoprene. So it depends where it is. I used to get like a psoas, type psoas, which was the psoas muscle is really long. It runs under your ribs all the way down to your hip flexor in your hips. And that was, it was just really, really tight. You used to have to roll on it and get it loose. But it depends where the tummy pain is. So have you ever experienced
Well,
that?
let me know more. I mean, sometimes it's because you're doing such a tremendous job pulling that water through. And when I say the core is how you transfer power from the front of your stroke to the back of your stroke, if you're doing that amazingly well, it could just be sore from working it properly. But if it's a strange pain, I mean, I'll never forget when you used
like
to get
cramping
that.
in my psoas.
And it was
awful.
awful. But also really pay attention to, I'd love to get a video from you, Dom, just to see
Dom,
what your
post one.
position is in the water. If you're holding yourself in a way that's straining those muscles, we'd be able to point that out. If you get someone, they'd have to kind of get the video,
Under
I'd
the
say,
water.
at least, water on the surface of the water, under the water, but let us see that and we'll be able to help you out with that. And Megan, I really
I would
want my
try
video.
doing hip flexor stretches too. The hip flexor stretch, Erin probably does those on Mondays, but the hip flexor stretch, look up hip flexor stretches, because their psoas will get really stretched out with a hip flexor stretch. And I can demo it after this, so that would help too. So last one question, let's see. What kind of stationary bike is best to start? This is a good question, Susie, because some people don't have tri-bikes. What kind of stationary bike is best way to start as a newbie? A regular high seat or the one where you're almost leaning back with your legs higher?
No, recumbent. No,
as close
definitely.
as close to a normal road bike position as possible. The Peloton's a good one.
Yeah,
But it's
Peloton's
expensive.
a great one. A Schwinn spin bike, you could probably find a used one
Yep.
for sale online. But yeah, you want it to be as close to a regular bike as possible. Whoops.
Oh,
So the
we're back.
recumbent bike you wouldn't be using the same muscles. So, and we have
Well,
a
you
lot
would
of
be,
you,
but you're recruiting them differently.
right, recruiting them differently.
I'd look at the ones I use, like in spin cycle, soul cycle classes, all those, like stationary bikes that are upright. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, a lot of you guys you travel. Maybe not right now, but you do travel. I know I have athletes that travel all the time for work, and they end up not wanting to bring their bike on a work trip. And that's when you could use a Peloton or a Schwinn bike or any kind of a stationary bike. But
And
again,
the hotel gyms generally have those.
yeah,
as well.
always,
Yep.
always,
Yep.
I feel.
Yep.
Hopefully that helps, guys. You are all amazing. Have an amazing week. Make your training fun. It should never be I have to. It is I get to. I get to run. I get to bike. I get to swim. I get to live this incredible miracle of life. You get to do these things. It's a gift. It's a joy. It's a pleasure. Don't ever, ever forget that.
And don't forget, we have amazing coaches under our club. Swimming tips, I would go to Mel Mitchell. Becky has done amazing in her iron distance races, bike run, anything tri-related, especially long distance. Beck has improved I can't remember, it's like 3 or 4 hours, maybe 3 hours over your Ironman distance. My athlete's on. Congratulations to everyone on that swim comp. Oh my God, they kicked ass. My athlete
Amazing.
reached 42, I think it was 42.2 kilometers already. Was so excited.
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
proud of
Maddie
you
Pesh
guys.
has been swimming 35,000
Wow.
meters a week. You guys are incredible. Coaches, you're incredible. Thank you for being so awesome. Mel, we're so excited about Team Serious Tri Club in Australia. Such respect for you as an athlete. Such respect for you, Rebecca, as an athlete, as a human being. So thank you, everyone. You're amazing. Have an awesome week.
And thank you, Dan, for the yoga too. You're
Yes.
awesome. Love it.
We love you guys.
Hi there, Cam here again. Hope you enjoyed that. And don't forget, you can get 1 month's free membership at the moment to teamserioustriclub.com. All you need to do is click the link in the show notes or go to teamserioustriclub.com, and we'd love to see you inside the club soon.